Welcome to SNU's celebration of International Cyber Security Awareness Month. October, as it seems, is the International Cyber Awareness Month, and our program is in continuation of that for today. Cybersecurity, indeed, a very relevant term these days. There is no doubt that we are living in a world driven by the digital and the social and the cyber. In fact, I'm sure the last time we ordered takeaway outside the apps that support us, I can't recall. I'm always swigging or zooming or whatever. Um, but the constant use of cybersecurity has also made us very vulnerable, extremely exposed to the world around us, and there are loops where threats enter. Remember that Tony Stark had a very successful, well-built system of, anybody wants to give me the acronym for it? Jarvis, exactly. Even Ultron was able to break through Jarvis and delete a much load of data. So if Iron Man is so vulnerable, then I'm sure we too are. Our only way out is to be aware, to learn the correct way to use digital and cyberspaces, and also protect our data and also ensure that we participate in that safety zone. We do not go haywire and disturb others as well. That is a responsibility of the netizens. We are extremely lucky that we have people from the domain who have been, making sure that netizens use internet safely for over 2-3 decades now. We're extremely grateful to have them with us. Shri Sanjay Kumar Das, Joint Secretary, Department of IT and E, Government of West Bengal. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us today. Our students would love to hear you speak. Also, the other person needs no introduction for SNU, Shri Shandip Sengupta. He is the Director of Indian School of Ethical Hacking and, of course, intricately associated with SNU for a long time. We've all seen him appear 1,000 times in TV cameras, and we're extremely grateful that we're here with us today. We will also be joined by Minister, Government of West Bengal, Babul Supriyo, in a short while. We will also hear him speak. He will be here in a while. Before we start the event, I would request our dignitaries and Vice Chancellor to please start the event with watering the plants. So we have replaced the lighting of the lamp with watering of the plants to, make a make a stronger carbon impact. I will request our Vice Chancellor to felicitate our guests, and I will request our students to help him, please. I would request our Vice Chancellor to felicitate Shri Sanjay Kumar Das. So if you can come up on the stage, both of you. I would request our OSD to the Chancellor, Mr. Pradeep Kumar Biswas, to please come up on stage to felicitate Shri Shondeep Shen Gupta along with the Vice Chancellor.
Fastest growing digitally enabled university in a conveniently located and vibrant campus. Join Sister Nivedita University for higher education and research and reinvent yourself.
The introduction of our speakers, of course, they need no to the SNU family. They are such well-known faces. Thank you to both the speakers for being with us. We will start our event with Sri Srindash's speech. I would request him to please come up, but before that, I would read a little bit about his bio. Of course, he's been in the field working for Okay, right. I skipped that part. So I will request our Vice Chancellor to offer the inaugural address for the session today.
Very good afternoon to all my dear students. A very good afternoon to all my dear students, the faculty members, and the esteemed guests over here. Today, we are actually organizing this very important seminar where we are all aware of the fact how the cyber security awareness is becoming very, very important in our day-to-day life. And I can tell both Shundip and Shanjay, both to you, yesterday morning I got a message, email, that I have transacted some $400 worth of material from US at 7:47 a.m. So I said, I have not done anything. Immediately I tried to call them, but they said already it has been taken out from your credit card, and then I have to block my credit card. So yesterday it happened actually. These are the things regularly is happening to many of us, and then later on the bank said, oh, you have visited US and after that you have never been stopped your international credit card thing. So it has been done. So it's my fault that I have not done that. But anyway, the bank is nice enough. Today morning they said that we are reverting back that amount to you because you are a very great customer for us, so don't worry about it. But this is actually the thing which is going on every day in our day-to-day life at different ways, different paths and other things. And this awareness itself is something which is becoming very, very important. And we are very happy that we are having this our ICC actually, IIC organizing this, where the two speakers they have identified are the people who are I think the most knowledgeable in this part of this country, because Mr. Das, who is there in higher education for a long time, but right now the Joint Secretary of IT, but he has got an extreme interest in this area. And I just came to know that even he did at this particular period of time and post-graduation in the cyber crime, cyber awareness, this particular course from Bangalore. And he established in our state the Center for Excellence in Cyber Security Awareness Center for Excellence. Because you have actually done this work on behalf of all of us, Mr. Das, we would like to thank you very much. Let's give a big hand to Mr. Das for setting up this Center for Excellence. And my friend Shundip is there for a long time. I don't know. Maybe it's a mantra for him that for a very, very long time he wanted to work on it, and actually he established this very important school which actually deals with all different types of ethical hacking and others. Being the director of that school, he got in his mind that how actually he could do. And I could find that whenever we said that whether it's Shiliguri or in Hooghly or in Kolkata, wherever we wanted to actually have him to give this particular information or this awareness thing, he actually helped us in quite a big way. And we are really looking forward that both of you can play a very important role in our university. Today we also are going to have the Honorable Minister who is going to join us after some time. But anyway, let's have this particular lectures from Mr. Dodds and Mr. Shenmukta. And I'm sure all of us are going to get quite a bit of knowledge about this. And we can actually percolate this message to our friends, to our neighbors and the others who are actually surrounding us. Only then it will be a successful program. Otherwise, just listening to it is not going to actually have any impact. The impact is going to be if we can actually spread this message to the people who actually are with us, and then more people will know about it. Thank you very much, and thank you the speakers for coming over here. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Well, our Honorable Chancellor couldn't be here today because of a prior commitment, but he sent us a message. I'm reading that out. I'm extremely elated that my dear friend and State Minister Babul Supriyo will be addressing students of SNU along with Mr. Sanjay Kumar Dash and Mr. Sengupta, veterans in the field. Techno India has been the front runner in tech-driven education in the state. Our focus has always been to promote IT in the best, clean possible way. With the world becoming increasingly digital, we cannot overlook cyber threats and challenges that loom large. However, we envision SNU to become the most sought-after platform in cybersecurity, especially in training young minds in practicing safe cyber activities and protecting data. I could not be here today because of prior commitments, but I'm so grateful to the dignitaries that they have agreed to address our students. I'm sure after listening to them, my students will be inspired in participating and building to create a cyber safe world. That was the message from our Honorable Chancellor. Now that we've all been waiting to hear our speakers, Mr. Sanjay Kumar Dash, of course, as Vice Chancellor says, has been working in the field for such a long time. He knows the in and outs of it. And after he will share his experience with us today, and we will be a little more knowledgeable about how to handle internet in the best possible way. So if you could please, and the floor is all yours. Applause. Can we have a big round of applause?
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I do not want to remain leashed. I'm going to talk while walking around. And first of all, my deep acknowledgement of the trust bestowed upon me by the SNU, its Chancellor, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, right now, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I'm honored and humbled. The entire SNU team who has identified me to be speaking to you. I have the rare privilege of talking to the first congregation of the students when this university came up. The very first, this orientation class happened to be taken by me. So I have the rare privilege of coming back to this university around after 5 years. The university is So I was thinking in my mind that Technology University came in 2012 August, so it has just completed 10 years, and SNU has completed 5 years, 4 years. So around that. I hope I am audible, and though I do have a bad throat, I am seeing that my entire hall is filled up to the brink, so it is just like a chock-a-block. And I would request that I am not very, good looking, so don't take pictures of me. Yeah. Okay, that's the greatest irony of the life. So, to start with, let me first tell you just what we have just learned from Honorable Vice Chancellor here. That yesterday morning he had a transaction in his credit card of the amount of $200, isn't it? $400. So, is there any confusion among the students? Our Vice Chancellor had a transaction in his credit card which is enabled to be used internationally, isn't it, sir? So there was a transaction of $400 in his credit card. And what did he do? He lamented. Then he called up the bank. Then the bank was gracious because he had been an excellent customer. But please do not do all these 4 things. First of all, you should call 1930. What you should do? 1930. Because you have been defrauded. So whenever there is a fraud occurring with you, sir, and anybody else, we should immediately call 1930. That is the lifeline. What is golden hour? Can you tell me? In health, what is the golden hour? In case of heart attack, what is the golden hour? What do you mean by golden hour in case of heart attack? Can anybody tell me? Yes, tell me please. What is the time? What is called golden hour in case of heart attack? Golden hour is called 2 hours. Tell me, my dear friend. No? Any trial? Do you want? Are you paid to actually follow me? This one. So I will be going back. I'll put you in geopolitics. So, what is golden hour? Try it out. What is golden hour in heart attack? Anyone? It is the 1 hour from the doorstep to the needle. So within 1 hour, you should be taken to the doctor who has a needle, that means hospital. So you must reach the emergency of a hospital within the first 1 hour. It is called doorstep to the needle. It is called golden hour for heart attack. Correct? The same thing applies for online fraud. It is called golden hour to report. So if you do that, as soon as you have come to know that fraud has taken place, so it is the first hour within which, that if you had actually called up, there would have been better possibility of reverting or stopping that. The issue is reversal of that money. No, bank is not a saint. It is not Sri Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Taka mati mati taka. So bank is not actually giving you money from their own kitty. It had actually not been transacted at all. Definitely it was lying in the suspense account. And that's why it could retrieve and pay back. Otherwise, sir, आप कलम पीस जाते थे. You could have just, sending letters and letters or emails and emails, calls after. इतना आसान नहीं है. That's why all of us must know that the golden hour of fraud is the time from the time that you have come to know and the time of reporting. So the earlier you report, there is more possibility of reversal of that. Okay. So I wanted to just, put the things in perspective. My dear friend and brother Shondeep will actually look into that. Today morning we had a, understanding that no, I have just actually ignited them so that they, during me, the remaining portion of my discourse, I will put them to sleep. Then you can just wake them up. So I have just put a flame in their mind that they will be looking up to you as director and founder of Indian School of Anti-Hack. So I will just go into the understanding of what cyber security is, the academic part of it, because this is an academic institution, and how at the end of my discourse could I put into your minds that this could be a possible professional career, irrespective of the background that you look up to me. In Bengali there is a proverb that is called Gaye Manena Apni Mo. So no one actually believes in me because I am not a technologist, I am not an engineer like most of you. Even then you are asking me to talk to you because I have taken keen interest in it and I have started following it passionately because I don't have any other way. So let us try to actually decipher what is security, cyber security, information security, and all the paradigm shift that is happening all around us. So what I have given the name to, so what I have given a name, the need and potential, a journey towards awareness, knowledge and wisdom. This has become a cliche of mine, talking to people and referring to Professor Noam Chomsky, where Mr. Noam Chomsky told that there are 3 stages of education. The first stage is known as awareness, which is the responsibility of the government. Because awareness is spread, it is a horizontally spread thing. So everybody has to be made aware. That is the responsibility of the government. Next stage, people pick up knowledge by choice. So, knowledge is from the point of view of choice. What is that you are doing right now? What course you are following? Computer science engineering. Why it is not electrical? नहीं मिला और प्यार आप अच्छा लगा इसलिए आप Your choice was, this is called knowledge. So knowledge is by choice. The first stage is known as awareness. It is required by all. That's why we all have given class 10, class 12. Even in class 12, it is partially knowledge and partially awareness. So, the first stage is known as awareness, which is spread horizontally. Second is pick and choose. That is called knowledge. And the third stage is what society desires to attain, or a community. That is called wisdom. And remember, my friends, today, that only then you can fight any war, be it a Ukraine war, or a war with your neighbor, or around and on cyber domain, only if you are a wise society. And wise society means that you will not intrude into others' domain. And similarly, you will be bold enough to to prevent anybody intruding into it. Acha, what does police do? Police ki kore? What does police do? Oh, fantastic. So today morning, you have left your home. Before that, police came to your home, knocked your door and asked you whether somebody had tried to invade your home yesterday night. Did it do that? So how is it protected? Tell me, I am asking you judicious question and I want to hear from you, mostly those who are following, CSE, that means you are logical. Otherwise you would not be in a position to quote. Investigation কখন হয়? যখন তুমি রিপোর্ট করো। কখন তুমি রিপোর্ট করো? ফ্যান্টাস্টিক, তাহলে প্রোটেক্ট করলো কোথায়? ম্যানেজ করছে তো। Oh, awesome, na? Those who have been thinking that police is protecting us, remember that police is actually managing the crime. What are the stages of management of crime? What are the stages of management of crime? Once you report, it is not in Google. You need to actually listen to me. What are the stages of management of crime? There is a very bad thing, as I am tall, my eyes are very sharp. I can see and I can understand most of you what you are doing, because I am in the business for 28 years. Though I am not a teacher. Don't worry. Most of my teeth have gone, so I can't bite. So what are the stages of management once we report? What do you do? No, after that, investigation is done. So, how many of you have not seen a movie called Sonar Kella? How many of you have not seen? Have not seen. Have not seen. Fantastic. So I should not have come here. It is a minimum prerequisite. From next time onwards, I would ask, Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, যে সবাই সোনার কেল্লা না দেখলে আসবো। Why? Because those who have seen Sonar Kella could tell me that in the guest house of, I hope, Udaipur or something, there was a bichu on the bed of Feluda. Yes. Fantastic. I do not care because my question is somewhere there. What did Feluda do? How? Fantastic. This is called containment. So as soon as you know something has happened, you have demarcated a boundary around it and you have contained the situation. So police ये करती है, जैसे कोई सिचुएशन आप रिपोर्ट करें, वो आकर के चारों तरफ घेर लेते हैं, so that the thing does not go beyond a defined area. So it does not investigate. It contains. The first stage is management में containment. Second, root cause analysis. किस लिए हुआ है? That is called investigation. Third is finding the perpetrator. Fourth is sending him to the court by arresting or many means. Fifth is coming back and from the feedback of the investigation, aware the people so that they are much more aware and knowledgeable. As they are professional, they do not aware, they provide knowledge. Here, all the teachers provide knowledge. They are knowledgeable people. That's why they can provide knowledge. I am not a knowledgeable person. That's why I am spreading awareness. Because government has the responsibility of spreading awareness. Professionals have the responsibility to, spread knowledge or impart knowledge. That's why it is called imparting knowledge. You will never hear imparting awareness. It is called spreading awareness, imparting knowledge. Is it clear? We are coming to that point. And lastly, the last portion is with investigation, then this thing, crime assessment, then feedback and all these things. The last thing is emboldening and empowering themselves so that they could actually manage the crime better next time. So the managers always wait for the disaster to happen. And that's why United Nations created the disaster management vertical in 1954 and created the disaster risk reduction vertical in 2004. So it took 50 years for the United Nations to understand that they cannot prevent what? Disasters. So you cannot prevent cyber intrusion. They are disasters. They will visit you. And managers cannot prevent disaster. And that's why prior to the disaster, you can be made aware about the ways and means of perpetrators as to how they are going to hit you, where you have the weakest point. My dear friend, welcome to the jungle that is called internet or internal connectivity, where you are always exposed to such fallacies and maladies. And that's why you should have the security awareness and sensitization as well as your interest and intent to protect yourselves, which lead to the 100% achievement of zero tolerance to cybercrime. That is called cybersecurity. So let me go into the next slide. How to change the slide? Somebody is doing that for me, or I have to do? Is there a changer? Do you have a changer or something? I think changer. Okay. ভালোই হলো আমার হাঁটা ভালো. So no problem. Next one. Oh, earlier one. So what is this? What is this? Very recent thing. What is this? আরে কেউ বলো তো, খাওয়া দাওয়া করনি, মুখ ও বধির, কিছু তো একটা মানে কথাবার্তা বলতে পারো না. Tweet made by? Oh, fantastic. How could you tell that? Because it is written. तो कोई भी अपना चेहरा दिखा देगा तो आप समझ जाएंगे वही है. So now let us read what I have written. A tweet was doing rounds on 27th October. After initial checking, it was found that it was from the official handle of New York Post. So apparently it is correct. Later, the following was detected. But what was it? The New York Post itself says that we have been hacked. And we are currently investigating the cause. This is so real and too real to be true. অসাধারণ ব্যাপার. আমার বাড়িতে অসুবিধা হয়েছে, আমার সঙ্গে আমার স্ত্রীর ঝামেলা, আমি বিশ্ব সংসারে সবাইকে জানাচ্ছি. হয় না? Does it happen? Do you really, publicize? I am having a fight with my spouse. We don't. We don't actually. It is called intrusion. It is intrusion. So, does it happen? Yes or no? That's why it is fake. Because it is too real to be true. It is too real to be true. So what happened next? Later, the following was detected. The truth and nothing. New York Post employee hijacked Twitter account, posts vile content. That means the New York Post employee who didn't have the knowledge of the credential hijacked the credential So, me and sir, we are colleagues. So I am sitting just beside him and continuously watching the credentials that he is logging into. It is called shoulder surfing. What it is called? Shoulder surfing. So I have understood that I have come to know about the credentials, and when he is absent, I went into the Twitter handle and post this that we have been hacked. When it started doing rounds, immediately people started saying it fake, fake, fake. Because this is too real to be true. চট করে এটা হয় না, এই জন্য এটা মিথ্যা। As soon as you would get such type of posts, try to have a pinch of salt, and you would understand this is not so real. In some time, somebody would do that. So, this is the world of information security. Is the information really secure? The fallacy of Aadhaar data leak. We often say that Aadhaar data leak hoye geche. Have you seen this news? Lot of news. None is true. Why? Because the Aadhaar data, the biometric part of it, is actually kept completely disconnected to the internet. So how it is really, gives you the authentication. When we have our biometric taken, each biometric impression has thousands of attributes attached to it. How are they done? They are put into a grid, and each grid is an attribute. And with each attribute, there is this connect with the validation code that is made. So, say there are actually 4,000 attributes. Let's suppose this is a square grid. Let's suppose. And let's suppose it is, say, 4,000 grids. That our thumbprint is having 4,000 grids. That means dots. So you take 188 points out of it. How many? 188 out of that. Add it to the verifiable information. What is that? My name, my father's name, parentage, my address, my date of birth. Are you getting my point? So you add this 188 to this verifiable data. So what is an Aadhaar card? Aadhaar card is not a restricted document. Why it is not a restricted document? Somebody has one? Yes, sir. Yes. So Aadhaar data card. What does it have? His name, his address, date of birth, and his sex. Okay? The male, the date of birth, the name, and the address. It has to be verified, isn't it? हम दिखा दिया और ये तो सही नहीं भी हो सकता है. Because it is too real to be fantastic. The first step you are taking. So किसी का आधार कार्ड हाथ में आने से that is not real until and unless it is validated. When you are giving me, you have given me an authenticated document. And once I receive it, I am validating it. So you have given me an authenticated document. Authentication is one thing, validation is another. So I have to validate. How do I validate? I take your thumbprint. Right at this point of time, some of that means 188 attribute, these grades, points, are added to or attached to this very information. Are you getting my point? So immediately as soon as the scan happens, those 188 points are brought out and matched. They are matched with his thumbprints 188. Once it is done, then it will come up. This is the real Aadhaar. So it is not protected. It is a tool for showing your authentication, and it is my responsibility to validate it. Just because you have given me an authenticated document does not make it validated. So when we say that Aadhaar data has been leaked, it is a wrong statement. Why? Because even if these data are strewn across, even if the voter identity card data are strewn across, they are already available. They are for publication basis. They say that voter identity card pawa jacche. Voter identity card is already, all those data are already there on ECI website. You go into and download the electoral roll, they are there. And so even if you have my Aadhaar card, until and unless my biometrics are scanned and matched, there is no threat to my identity theft. But the beauty is, these 188 out of 4,000, they go on changing. So even if, what is your good name? Even if Abhinandan comes by chance to know the specific 188 grid points of my scan, by the time he uses it, it is already changed. How it is done? Regularly, this 188, I am just giving an example. I will not mention how many grid points. I am just giving it an example. Say 188. So these 188 or 367 or 491 or 2721 are matched or actually, this synchronized or added, attached to the data that is going to be verified. So once you change the selection of the grid points, there is no chance that you will come back and validate. Even if Abhinandan knows the 188, by the time he is going to verify my data, it has become 491. You করতে পারবে তখন? You cannot. So that's why when people say that Aadhaar data are available, they are actually saying that these published data are available. And what happened with Indian, they actually, due to their carelessness, they allowed this data to be spilled onto the website. It happened during COVID, with lot of applications actually helping us by taking our biometric and Aadhaar card and all those data and verifying us, giving us beds and all those services, additional services. During COVID it happened. So lot of data were spilled and actually got out in the internet. Kirokom kore hoy? When you are going back home, you are seeing potholes with water. So that is called the data spillage. So on the road is just like internet, there is accumulation of data. So somebody happens to chance onto that very pothole of data and collects the data and starts shouting, সমস্ত ডেটা পৃথিবীতে ছড়িয়ে পড়েছে, সবাই পেয়ে গেছে, হ্যাক হচ্ছে. Gartner says that more than 90% of people are facing this intrusion because of their lack of awareness, and 10% are facing targeted attacks. ফলে আমরা এত ইম্পর্টেন্ট নয় যে সবাই আমাকে টার্গেট করে আমাকে হ্যাক করবে. For individual, the hacking is less than 10%, but in case of organization, hacking is more than 90%. বোঝা গেল? ভারতে একটা বেনিফিটও আছে, যতদিনে কোনো হ্যাকার তোমাকে আইডেন্টিফাই করবে ততদিনে এখানকার জনসংখ্যা 130 থেকে 140 কোটি. So my dear friend, when we say Aadhaar data leak, that is also a lack of information security, because we are spilling wrong information in the way. And that's why when we talk about information security, we need to understand the veracity of the information. So next time you hear about Aadhaar data leak, remember that there is hardly any possibility because the biometrics are not available or directly connected to internet. Even if you have this access, you cannot have access to the biometrics because they are kept separately, disconnected. They are physically disconnected. The data centers are physically disconnected. They are shared by application program interface. So change of those attributes connected to the verifiable data and sent across to people. Even if you write, আপনারা দুজন মনে হয় লেখার জন্য করছেন না, সাংবাদিক তো, আপনি তো সাংবাদিক, আপনাকে তো চিনি, লিখবেন যখন আমাকে উল্লেখ না করে লিখবেন, না হলে পরে মিছমিছি বিপদ বাড়াবে। So next point, understanding information security. That as per Information Technology Act, protecting information and information systems from unauthorized access, use, disclosure, disruption, modification or destruction is known as information security. Very simple. Go and read IT Act. Next slide please. What is this? What happened on 25th? কি হয়েছিল 25th? Oh, fantastic. কারা কারা এখানে WhatsApp পয়সা দিয়ে অ্যাক্সেস করে? Who are the people that accesses WhatsApp by paying money? কারা কারা পয়সা দিয়ে WhatsApp অ্যাক্সেস করে? Anyone? What is written on the T-shirt of the character Cyber Jodha?
If it's free, you are the product.
So those who are here who think that WhatsApp is end-to-end encrypted, please raise your hands. End-to-end encrypted. How could you find? Give me a proof of concept. You are computer science. Oh, fantastic. What is your name?
Devojit Das from BTech CSC first year.
Explain how just what is COVID
Sir, actually before installing WhatsApp in the privacy, sir, WhatsApp doesn't even know what we chat, only yes, sir.
saying that there is nobody yes or
Yes.
yes. You are eat that from the mouth of the hole, and then
Yes, sir, got it.
because, my dear friend, we all actually use WhatsApp by giving PIN which are saved in their servers. Next time, it actually asks you to put PIN first, switch off the connection to the internet, and then put it. If not, then you understand that it is not a native application. So this PIN is not residing in your device. So it is residing in cloud. And where is the cloud? Nowhere. It is a physical server that has been virtualized, and that's why it is called cloud. So that very server is owned by WhatsApp. The same thing happens with Signal, Telegram, blah, 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 blah. So until and unless you have the right over your own lock, And if you do not have the key, even Amastri, my wife, would definitely invade my children's bags once they come back from the school. I used to ask, why are you doing so? I have to have a control on them and see what they do. So that is what WhatsApp does. And it gives a false notion, as my wife would give. You have whole privacy. And my children, they were so naive, they would think that whatever they had in their bags had not been seen by their mother. The same thing happens with WhatsApp and everybody. So here on 25th, WhatsApp went dark for 2 hours and 10 minutes, and my dear friend and brother, Mr. Sandip Sengupta, will explain why it happened, what it happened. So I have left him with the work. And in addition, if he wants me at that point of time, I will add. Understanding cyber security, not by just saying cyber security. So the whole aspect is all about software when we do not consider S in software to be security. And we do not care about that. I am so happy that we had the opportunity of Shandip's organization training our around 100 developers on secure coding practice as to how we should think about or ideating about developing application from the scratch with security being the key factor. That means for entire software development life cycle, for every stage, security was the prerequisite. For others, most of the applications we talk about and we use, security comes at the end. So security is always a retrofit, just like if you have a t-shirt and then you are sewing the pocket from outside. Do we do that? Do we do that? Do we sew pocket after we have this t-shirt? But we do with tattoos. So as tattoo your body, the security add to the software. Really, actually, are we born with tattoos? No. We can actually think about security from that point. So in cyber security understanding, we need to understand the entire domain is based upon how software is eating out the world. By continuously flourishing and sprouting here, there and everywhere, just like Hydra, where software does not take into consideration about security during ideating or before actually finalizing the delivery methodology. Once the software is complete, it is sent to the security guys and they are asked to identify the vulnerabilities. And then you start patching. Why you should patch? You should have clear idea about security imbibed in the application. That is called secure coding practice. And this Indian School of Anti-Hacking has a beautiful course curriculum developed on it, and they trained our people, and we are happy that after their training, our vulnerability on those applications, they have come down on to a large extent. Shambhojit will be talking to you on that. With regards to security, remember 3 definitive, sides of a triangle. It is called CIA triangle. C stands for confidentiality, I stands for integrity, and A stands for vulnerability. So in other words, it is a sort of balance between ease of use and security. Consider a coin. Both sides of the coin are, those 2 sides are, one security, other ease of use. If you want to have peace of mind, you can go back today and put 27 locks to on your door. Even then, Dabang, which could come with a jeep and door open your door. So the whole thing comes down that what type of brute force you will be attacked with. So security is a sense. আমরা কি সত্যি 27টা আইনে মানে লক লাগাই না, because একটা বা দুটো লাগালে পরেই we start having this idea that we are safe. Just imagine of those people who live in these big complexes যেখানে security guards, they are very lowly paid employees, do not have a lathi also, but we feel so secure because that very 63-year-old having 12,000 rupees per month, working 12 hours a day, we think we are secure and we do not lock our door. So it is just a basic sense. My dear friends, there is a third side to every coin. If it is increased, the coin becomes a cylinder. Otherwise, when it is a coin, so there is a very precarious balance. If you want to stand it, allow it to stand on a plane surface. That balance is the balance between ease of use and security. So in your software development, you should always consider this thing, that availability, confidentiality and integrity will actually lead you to a balance between ease of use and security. Next slide, please. And I will just say that all your life you will be actually hearing these three things, three words: people, process, technology. I would not go into that. All your teachers will be talking about it. Next, please. Next. Who is he? How could you identify? How could you identify? মুখ দেখা যাচ্ছে না তো? How could you identify? Who is he, by the way? Who is he? Mark Zuckerberg, husband of Linda. No, I am a fan of Linda. Why I am telling you? হাসছো কেন? বলতে দাও। I do not have a presence in Facebook. I do not have a presence in, what? Insta. I do not have a presence in Twitter. I only have a small presence in LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is not owned by him. No, because it is owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft comes into the fourth quadrant of the security. Right, Shamujit? That's why if we actually enable Microsoft Defender of our OS, it is enough to actually ward off most of the vulnerabilities. And we are not needed to pay hundreds of rupees or thousands of rupees to buy what is called all those anti ... So actually this has a story behind it. When Syria was actually weeded out, or the ISIS was weeded out of Syria after relentless efforts, then NSA was having a great problem because, please লিখবেন না, এটা গল্প হিসেবে শুনে রাখো। আচ্ছা, then NSA was having a very bad time because why? তার কারণ হলো যে those ISIS wala, they were having their face changed. They were having their face changed by way of plastic surgery. So they called Mr. Faceless Book, because he's masking his book and face. So masked face. They called Mr. Masked Face and brought out a lamba kacha chitta. And they told that it is high time these things are published. उन्होंने बोला नहीं ऐसा मत करना, ऐसे करने से मेरा तो पूरा ट्रिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स का जो इंडस्ट्री है वो खत्म हो जाएगा। तो बहुत अच्छा है। Then you find out and create a solution. अच्छा এগুলোকে আবার তোমরা ইউটিউবে তুলো না, তাহলে আমার বাকি চাকরিটাও চলে যাবে। প্রায় চলে গেছে, বাকিটা চলে। So then they told him that let's, this is a story. Story should also have, even if you mask them. So then they actually tell him, please create a solution so that a person can be extrapolated or intrapolated 10 years before and 10 years hence. What? If I capture your face, let's create a solution that I can immediately get a transition for the next 10 years and previous 10 years. And he came back and talked to Linda. Linda told, बहुत easy है, बहुत आसान है. You ask for a great, huge amount of money. So he went back and asked for a huge amount of money. They told okay. He came back to Linda and asked, कैसे किया जा सकता है? तो Linda ने बोला बहुत अच्छा है. You and me, we are influencers. Let us put up our 10 years before photo and recent photo. And let's start a challenge. It is called 10-year challenge. And immediately it became a rage. Please, এমন তুলনা রে ভাই, তোমার স্মার্টফোনে যদি টুইটার থাকে তাহলে সেটা 1888 প্ল্যাটফর্মের সঙ্গে সিঙ্ক হয় আর ইননিউমারেবল এর সঙ্গে থাম্বনেল করে। তাহলে তুমি বুঝতে পারছো পুরোটা করলে পরে আমার কি অবস্থা হবে, ওখান থেকে সুপারি দেবে আমার না। So tweet, what happened, they started a 10-year challenge. What is the 10-year challenge? 10 years before and 10 years hence. So they created a neural network which required tons and thousands and millions and billions and trillions of data to create an AI tool so that once it has my face, so it can extrapolate me to the 10 years later and intrapolate me to the 10 years before. And out of this, they say that around 23,000 ISIS people were there in USA, EU and others, their own, nations. Out of them, 7,000 could be easily tracked and continuous tracking is going on. So as soon as the next time you cross any CCTV, remember this person's handiwork behind that. Every feed is being analyzed and everybody is being extrapolated and intrapolated in order to identify whether you are an ISIS. I have already been identified 99 times. So they want a validation one time and they will just take me. So I'm waiting for that. At least somebody will take me. And I can go out of this country once. And after I came to know, I actually created my passport. Before that I didn't have. My dear friend, this is the life. In 2019, Mr. Jack Dorsey in the joint session of the Senate, he told that our source of revenue is sharing or allowing our data to be synced with 1888. So next time you take a private picture of your private and intimate moment, you remember that 1889 platforms already have that. They are not publishing that just because they have not received your consent.